Welcome to the Soft Vikings, a quest for meaning, purpose, love, and loyalty. I'm John, the lost son.
I'm Eric, the tyrannical father.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
All good?
Yeah, very, very much so. It's winter and minus and dark, so we love
So
it.
you thriving.
Yeah.
Best time.
That's everybody's down.
Everybody's down.
That gives energy.
That gives. So you have a love for winter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's that's the blessing coming from high north that we have these distinct seasons.
Mhm.
So things are changing, and you're reminded of the floating
Yeah.
or that everything is not the same from day to day.
Indeed. It's always changing. But going back around and around. Huh? 'Cause you.
Yeah, it's the Hindu wheel. It's like everything repeats.
Yeah.
In a way, nothing is new. In another way, everything is new.
Yeah.
Because every season is new in like of course in the winter in Norway we expect snow. We get snow most.
So we complain
Most
when we
year.
have it and when we don't.
Yeah, it's like
But
we complain in the city because it's a hassle, but we really know how to handle it.
yeah, it's
The
like
only-
one day of chaos.
Yeah,
Then
if
it's
it
over.
comes too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it comes in October, then it's a little chaos.
No.
Because people in Norway they change their tires on the cars, so they have winter tires,
Yeah.
and they stick to the snow. And those that are more rural, they have metal pigs.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Pig deck? Pigs?
Yeah. I don't know.
Pigs. That's an animal.
Pigs, yeah. I don't think like
Spikes.
Spikes. I don't know if you call them with spikes, winter wheels.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yes.
Well, I'll look it up.
Yes. So you have spikes on the on the wheels or on the tires,
Yeah.
and that
That helps.
yeah. Then you can go everywhere.
Yeah. It helps. It helps.
And it's also great fun. But now they are salting the big roads, so there's not really much ice and snow on them. But back in the days where they were covered with more ice and snow, it was really fun to drive.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Yes.
Like
Winter driving was like
like rallycross.
yes, great fun.
You could have fun.
So we love the
Good.
winter.
Good fun. Yeah, I think it's that's the key, right? Love where you are. Love the seasons. That helps.
Stephen still had this. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with, which is quite deep.
Yeah, and that is very deep. And yeah, like questions comes to mind are like, so you are kind of accepting your fate,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
the other question is that you are checking.
You're a loser. You're a loser. You never get.
Yeah, you're not going for what you actually want.
Yeah, and or you are
Depends.
rejected.
So that's kind of it's a good start to what
We want to
today's
talk
topic.
about love.
Yeah, and I think
That's a big topic.
it's a big topic. It's an important, maybe the most. I mean, you love humans. Without love, like for example, when you're an infant, no love, you won't survive. So clearly, it's the most important thing.
Yep. But can animals feel love?
Well, now you just jump straight into the hard questions. I guess if you love is kind of an attachment,
Yes.
I think yes, because you have animals that mourn the loss of their kids, for example.
Yes.
They express
And
sadness.
willing to give their life for the kids.
That's also you're willing
protect.
to sacrifice.
Yes.
And we can start on that side, like love for kin or for your children
Yes.
or your parents is the most obvious love
Yes.
in many ways, because even animals exhibit that behavior.
Yeah, it's the
So-
most basic.
So you're basically willing to. It's hard with love, but in
But
a sense, you must be willing to sacrifice for
Yeah.
someone else.
But love, in a way, it's a condition for the human experience, because the way we are evolved with this big brain and with this need for caretaking for many years, not possible without love,
No,
and therefore we have this as the core core. I don't know if it's only a feeling or what you can call it. It's like deeper than a feeling.
yeah, it's definitely a feeling. Well, I don't have children, so I don't know how you would feel towards a child in a sense. But I have parents, and I
No,
Have,
you have
like,
to get the child. That's the next
yeah,
challenge. The
But
tyrant wants
that's true.
somebody to bring his genes forward.
We'll get to that today a bit,
Yeah.
but I think it's more of a feeling too. I mean, English is strange. You say I love a cheeseburger, which is strange, but you can say you do love food, for example. But I think we should limit it to people.
But
I love art.
In Norwegian, you have a kjærlighet and elske, like
Yeah, and the more yeah, of course, and you have languages that have more words for it,
yeah,
which makes sense.
of course.
Like Greek, you have the love for mother, father, the love for brother. The
Yeah,
love for,
agape.
yeah, many different kinds of love, which make everybody understands the difference of
Yeah, what you have.
loving your girlfriend and loving your father. It's a different feeling,
Yeah, it is.
but I think the result is the same. You're supposed to like
And
strong
to
love.
complicate it even more, you have to throw sex into the mix.
Yeah, so you have sexual love,
Yes.
which is different than love for your country, hopefully.
Well, how to fuck your country? Well, there's a lot of prime ministers
You
and
can-
presidents that try to fuck their country
Maybe they've been
Yes.
taking their love for country a little
little too far
Sexual.
over the head yet.
like
Let's fuck that country up.
yeah. That's why they just
Let's
didn't understand
take it from
love.
behind. Yes.
They misunderstood love. That's
Yes.
all.
Yes.
It meant well.
Yes.
No, so love is, and I think we, for example, people who can't feel love, then we are like not trusting them. That's like the like hardcore psychopath
Narcissist, psychopath.
completely. Then you lack that one, and then you're not willing to give up yourself.
No. And you can be seduced by them because they're clever, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, they are
Just acting.
Yeah.
And
They
actors are
unmasked and
actors are very good at seduction.
yes.
And ironically, the biggest stars in society are actors, and which is super.
That's
If you think
interesting,
about
yes. Yes.
because they are at least they're honest about being fake. I guess that's a positive, but
Yeah, but you can
They're
say
fake.
that they're not for real.
they're mimicking.
Yeah, they're representing a dream or
Yeah.
a story, and it's not supposed to be for real. That's some actors understood that because today most of them are wanting also to participate in the daily discourse, and they have opinions of all this.
You don't do politics.
Yeah, they do politics and virtue signaling and all this shit. and that in a way are dragging them down because then they're outside the dream and
Yeah, they're selling a fantasy. They shouldn't be real.
they shouldn't participate in that at all. And one that understood this is Tom Cruise, because first he was like away only the superhero, and then he was starting to be open with his Scientology church and
Yeah.
his divorces and all that shit.
Yeah,
And then he realized he's a smart
that's a stupid.
fucker.
Yeah,
Hmm?
bad business.
So now you don't hear
doesn't talk
everything.
about it.
No, he's disappeared from
be-
the reality, and he's only
Just be an actor.
an actor and selling people dreams, hopes, big feelings,
And that's also
and that we always need.
you're onto something there because, for example, as an actor, your image is everything, right? But people are very curious about who you are, and there's a mystique, sort of. But with too much social media, they can deliver too much information to people. So, like, if you know what Tom Cruise had for breakfast and what kind of clothes he wears, the mystique wears off. It's not that exciting anymore. So, too much details is
No,
good for an actor, I think.
No.
Maybe not for a prime minister either.
No, that's the other thing. You know, you have
they're
to be
actors,
above. You have to, in a way, be bigger than life. Or if you want to be a leader, you have to be able to stand outside the everyday noise.
You have to be a persona or something.
That's
So people can love you.
Yeah, they can love you or they
Admire.
can admire you.
And
Because love and admiring is not almost.
that is very, very interesting because people would interchange those words.
Yes.
They would say, I love someone who they actually admire, for example.
Or they fear.
I
Fear
don't
and
know
love
if
is
you're scared of someone. I don't know if you would say I love them.
No, but
But maybe you in their presence.
yeah, maybe in their face, yeah, if necessary to escape.
Yeah.
No, but so love is a feeling. It's a strong feeling. It's maybe something more. It's something deeper. It's something existential for humans. Because if we're not able to produce this, in a way, it's getting out of yourself. It's like
Yeah.
putting your ego a little, play it a little down. It's also a lot of sacrifice that you're willing to give something.
I think that's the best definition of love is how much are you willing to sacrifice.
But then you also have, and then you also have that intuitive. When you say love, it's like something good or warm or caretaking or empathy.
Sure.
But love is also father and son perspective. It's also to educate and to teach about the reality of life and make your offspring able to survive.
Yes.
And that perspective has died a little out in the modern West.
Yeah, well, when the state is going to be your loving parents.
Yeah, the state's going to educate you to how to survive.
But the state is outsourcing, or I mean, it's people on the end there.
Always people. So the rest is fiction.
Working.
State is an ID.
But they don't have the same incentive to sacrifice because they're just there for the paycheck. And that's the issue. Yep. So what are they? They're not incentivized to go the extra mile for the child because why bother? It's just a paycheck. And that's a big issue, I think, that people are raised in care of strangers who don't care.
We're talking from Norway, and we are in Norway. We're soft Vikings, all of us, in a way, and more soft and less Vikings in many ways.
That's true.
Yeah, and we have this huge welfare state.
Yeah,
and we are, in a way, all our needs are taken care of.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah, but that's what you're sold in.
That's a story.
Yes,
you're
that's
told.
why you are
But I would
pay
say
your
that you
taxes.
could argue.
Argue hard. But my point is that we talked about several times that if a welfare state should give you welfare, and of course, one thing is to protect you against bad things like diseases, and if you're injured, and if you're out of money, out of work, and have a safety net.
Yes.
But in Norway, it's grown beyond that, and now it's almost the story they want to sell you is that the state shall give you happiness.
Yeah. That's weird.
That's weird, and they never manage. So it's a super expensive adventure because, in a way, they're offering to give you things that only love can give you, and they can never provide you love.
True. But in the
And then everybody gets disappointed because, okay, we have a way to take care of the old people that should be, everybody should be equal, be taken care of, nobody should suffer, blah blah blah. And that doesn't work, of course, because that is a 24/7 job and people are just stored away. And there is only some material aspects that's taken care of, and you're rotting in some sort of welfare hell, and you're sold that is
it's a good thing.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the state can. That's a good question. Can the state, through strangers, which is the case, at least initially, it's not kin,
No,
take care of you and give you love when you, for example, you're old? Is that even possible?
I don't think so.
It doesn't seem so.
No.
I mean, there would be cases probably of good relations between.
Yeah,
caretakers
then again, if you're a super nice person and you're loving and the personal, and you get to be the favorite,
You be liked, but maybe
you
not
like-
loved.
not loved. But if you like that, you're on the way, on the right direction.
Better, yeah.
Yes.
No, but since 2016, NAV has been giving out sex toys, so you can apply for free sex toys.
Yeah.
So they're trying
Even that.
to
Yeah.
to
Cover
give you
that
some
also.
romantic love,
Yeah.
self-love,
Self-love.
which is a very good question. If you go with, if you say love is defined through the willingness to sacrifice, how does self-love work?
Well, you don't want to sacrifice yourself, but you can sacrifice your tool, or you can exhaust it. I don't know.
It's a hard question.
Yes.
Because so many people emphasize these days, oh, just self-love.
Yes.
You got to just love yourself, which is how do you love yourself is my question. Then it's like I never got that one. Like, how
But if you unpack it, you can say that you should take care of yourself. That's something else.
I would
But
say
that's like
something else.
tough love again, meaning that you should know what's good for you, and a lot of things that's good for you is not connected to pleasure or to convenience, or it's some hard work, or get up in the morning, or do your gym, or expose yourself for some danger, and all these things, and that is self-love. In one sense,
You could say call it self-love. Just think it's a very lazy word to use because it doesn't make much sense to me. Because you can't sacrifice yourself for yourself. It doesn't make sense in my mind. But I have a question for you. Since we're talking about love, so we can start with the first one. I have two. And do you love your children?
well, that's interesting. Obviously, I have to say yes.
Or do you like to?
No,
It's obviously everybody would
no,
say yes.
yeah, no, It's not a hard question, but it's like this. It's complex because it's different layers, right?
Yes.
I conflict. Sometimes what I'm struggling with, both towards you and to your sister, is that um, I have ambitions, or I wish you the best, life possible, and I see a lot of potential that I don't feel that you really are utilizing.
Mhm.
And then we talked that maybe that is something that's connected to the way I'm looking at myself. So that's always a segue to that. That this is not about your children. But
No.
I feel that's it's deep love because I really want you the best.
No, I think that's if you want someone the best, that's kind of love, I would say.
And I think that kind of fatherly love is I shouldn't pump myself up here, but it's a little out of fashion. This what you should call hard love, or to really be a
Yeah,
be pointing to the truth.
I think you're
about
onto something.
life.
I think you're onto something, and I think the challenge has been that since you have been representing the fatherly love, which is more like a tough love and demanding, and not so much of the so-called motherly love. So when you haven't when I grew up, and my sister as well, since you haven't been with the mother, then there's something that's it can easily
Out of
go
balance, little out
yeah,
of balance.
it can easily get out of hand
Yeah. So
because you don't have the counterbalance
No,
immediately.
that's the sad fact that I haven't been able to stay in this relationship. So I have left them, both with your mother and your sister's mother,
Yes.
and then this more tough fatherly love maybe is gone a little out of control.
No, because I think as you stated earlier, it's gone a bit out of fashion, but I think it's desperately needed for everyone. Everybody needs tough love, boundaries, demands, and like
But
how
taking
to get the aspirations. It's necessary.
If
But
not, you don't take people serious, or
no,
or
but
the purpose.
well, of course, but and the balancing is like mother and father is both needed because they bring different things to the table. So, say if you just with the mother, you might just get the nurturing, protecting, cuddling part, which is also very important. But if you only have that part,
Yes.
you become very strange. And if you only have the tough love part, it gets strange. So in my personal experience, I kind of had both, but they were separated in time and place.
Yeah.
So it becomes very disconnected.
Yeah, of course.
So you become a little strange because you have them both, but they're not combined. So you're not making that cookie the proper way.
But it's another thing that's super important here also, and that is that, at least that's I believe this, that we're born with some sort of personality.
Yes.
We've been through that here. We've taken the personality test, and
Yeah, we did the big five.
and if you're really loved, it and of course depends on the psychological or the state of mind for your parents are in. But real love means that you are paying attention to the child.
Indeed.
And you're looking at it with, some sort of open mind and say, oh, what sort of person is this? And I think a mistake I've done, and it's a very common mistake, is that you don't really see your child. You only want to create something that is inside your head and what the society says or what your own ideas here, what sort of person you want this child to be.
More like the vision of the
And
future.
that can very easily create tension and a lot of traumas because, you, for instance, when you were little and you still you were very, in a way, content, quiet. And was not very, didn't need a lot of people around you, and and then you can suddenly misread that something wrong with you, or he doesn't want to play with others, etc.
Mhm.
And then you can start to push instead of saying, okay, this is natural, this is his basic position, it's this type. And that is very important. So I think real love is attention and try to see person's true nature, and go with that instead of going against it. But then you have this socializing part, because
Well, that's the thing. But you can do both.
yes, that's the point.
That's the point. There got to be a balance of attention to the here and now and who you are right now, and
Yeah.
the aspiration of who
Yeah.
you want to become.
We are different, but because if you're like more introvert or extrovert, or different level of aggression or different level of neuroticity, you can be trained to be a polite person anyway.
Well, that's what socialization is. It's
That's what civilization
molded
is.
into
Yes.
something that fits society.
Yeah.
So you are acceptable.
Yeah. But and there, of course, is balance also, because if you're cut too hard, and
Yeah,
it's
that's a
only
give and
one
take.
size that you are, everybody
Sure.
should be put.
But if you're not fitting in at all, you will have you will have a miserable life, because then society won't love you.
No,
in a way,
today we have this weird situation that we tell the kids that everybody can be whatever they want. You can, change your sex. You can change everything. And you can be the prime minister, or you can be whatever you want. It's just up to you.
Which is
And we accept all type of variations, but it's only one size that fits everybody at the end anyway, because you have to behave like this and this and this and this. So it's this
can be what you want in this way.
You can be whatever you want, but you have to be in this way. And you have
that's
to
society.
These ideas.
They don't. Yeah, they don't think. They don't really believe it. I think it's more of a way of.
And then we can also talk about love in modern time, when the family is so stressed out in a way. We're talking Western society here, right? We don't talk societies with a stronger kinship. We don't know much about that.
It's been eroding in Norway since I don't know, 4 to 3 generations, maybe. It's not that much longer, is it? 4, since people started moving into cities for real.
Yeah. The big, it's like the rest of the West is after the Second World War, like the big explosion.
So before you go on, that's the big question, I think, and the big experiment, and it might succeed. Is it possible to swap or exchange your close biological kin with like
different
nation as a kin?
Yeah.
Because that's the experiment in many ways. We're trying to say, oh, you're Norwegian, so you're my kin, for example.
Yeah, if you look at evolution, there is the classic says that it's a survival of the fittest, but if you look closer, it's a lot about group evolution, meaning that
that's the fittest.
Yes,
the most adaptable, maybe.
Most adaptable group or kin.
Yeah,
that's been like the competition between groups, because humans without groups doesn't make sense.
Well, it's always been the tribe, my tribe against your tribe thing. That's been
Yeah, but the basic
old
basic
story.
understanding you need to have is that okay, we are in a culture where we emphasize the individual as the sovereign, like the smallest building block.
And
the
now we
individual, we are now, and the individual should have rights and freedom.
And if you think about it, it's super strange because the individual isn't anything alone.
No, and then
So
and then
it's weird.
you know, in evolution, first we were like an extended family. I think the smallest group you can, you know, say that survive is maybe, you know, up to 25 people, and all they are entangled
If you're
in.
too small, you're
Yes.
gonna get
So it's maybe two
taken over.
brothers, and you know, with their wives and kids and their parents, etc. And that group competed with other groups at the same, you know, and then they start. Somebody were like pooling their resources together, and then you get the kin, or what you should say. That's not governed by anything but themselves. And that max size there, they're talking about maybe 100, 120 people. And what's happening if you want to scale that, you have to have something above that can identify the group. And that's where religion comes in, for instance.
So it clearly is possible.
Yeah, and that happened. So we've been scaled and scaled.
Yeah.
So, but
it's
classically, classically, they were like a lot of kings were coming to my kinship, and then you were having like small kingdoms. And
of course, it's warfare.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and then blah blah blah, bigger civilizations, and then empires and everything, and that crackled. But my point is that normally they're being like a chain. So you could, you know, identify and, you know, have some loyalty and love to your basic group, and then they are pulled together. But now there is like the individual, and now we're talking Western, we talk Norway, and then the family, where, you know, your basic source for love is like very under stress.
Yeah.
And then it's nothing, because the civil society is also in a way gone. You don't have the church anymore. You don't have like your vad heter menigheten?
Like community.
Your community, your congregation.
Yeah.
So the church side is taken off. Of course, you can say that you have some sort of maybe you are part of a club in a way, or you do, but basically the sorcerer society, you don't have a community. So a family is like half dead. The community is also on, you know.
So not enough love, in a way.
Need oxygen, and then you have the state.
So who's going to love who?
And also the love or the loyalty to the state is under pressure.
Because that's hard. Can you love the state? Actually. I mean, you could argue yes, because people are willing to die for the state, but most of the time they're forced to.
Yeah, but the state is different states, right? So the modern thing in the West is the nation state.
Yeah, but say, for example...
that has a strong story.
In wartime.
Yeah, but you have to say, like in Norway, we have a strong story because we've been here, been in the same area, the same, you know, people, and we have built up history, and we became a free nation in 1814. Not completely free there; we were under the Swedish crown, but we got our own constitution, and that story is something that, you know, is super important to me.
Yes.
And it's like some deep feeling, and I feel deep loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think that if I'm called upon, I will, you know, defend my country.
So then you have kind of love for your nation or your country.
Yeah.
So you're willing to sacrifice. for the values.
I haven't been tested in this situation, so I cannot say if that's just something I want or something.
No, of course you gotta see when the rubber meets the road, but at least you have you think you would like.
Or maybe it's just a romantic feeling, that it's like a little sentimental. That the flag and the nation. I feel that I'm part of,
It's a value.
Something bigger.
Love the value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of that too.
Yeah, love the feeling.
And I think because that's the issue with the so-called nation states. It's that it's so big. So the actual love you have for how do you love a flag, for example, it's tricky.
But it's so important because.
Do you love the prime minister?
No, but that's no, but
no.
But you
problem.
You tolerate them in a way, and you understand that it's a necessary institution, so you can see the bigger picture. But I think that if you're not proud or feel loyalty for your state or your nation, then the next is the world, and that's even harder.
Well, and I think that's what's been.
And then you really pressed. Then you're really at your own. Then you have
the experiment now. Is it possible for?
No, the new experiments. You cut it totally different. Because you cut it in different identity groups. So instead of the nation, it's the race.
Sure.
Or your sex, or your.
You can divide it up. But if you're gonna let's say. We're going to have a one world government. One state.
Yes.
The world is one state.
Yep.
That would require that people love the one state to work.
But in a way, that's what we.
So maybe it's possible.
No, it's some overarching values. It's like the human rights. That's like the sky. So if everybody adapts to the human rights, we don't need any span broker. It's the human rights, all the states, United Nations, everybody, we go with the human
You can use human rights, but you don't need to. I mean, look at China. They don't care much for human rights. They still have tremendous love. People love their country and their government regardless.
Of course.
So it's just about the story people are told, basically. So if you tell people the right kind of story, they'll love that story so much that they'll sacrifice for their country, for example.
Yeah, I think that we can, establish as a fact that you can take the Beatles, all you need is love. Love is all you need, but you need love. And love is maybe something you give more than something you receive.
Yeah, I would argue
least.
It's the receiving part is point. Not it doesn't matter.
No, and you can see.
So you can love the state, and the state clearly can't love you back.
No.
So.
And you can love your nation, and they can't love you back.
Not really.
Not really. But
the flag can't really sacrifice for you.
No.
It just ain't happening.
Yeah, it can help you on a cold day. You can
you can wrap yourself.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
That's maybe to show disgrace to the flag. No, they wrap them when they win. They take it around the shoulders.
But it's a symbol, so it's not the real thing.
No, on around.
And that idea can't really warm you up or show you love.
No,
because an idea in of itself can't sacrifice itself.
No,
it's not possible. And
but when we are in this situation that love is something you give, and we are taught more that love is more like a right you have.
You have the right to love or be loved, maybe.
Yes, people, the human rights is close to that you have the right to be loved. Because if you tick all these boxes, it's different aspects of.
Well, you can say you have the right to love anyone you want to love.
That's obvious.
That's the thing.
I mean, I think everything that comes from you and go out,
but then
is unproblematic. The problem comes when you as a person can demand something that should be or shouldn't be done to you. So you can say that the human rights, I'm not against human rights, but I'm just using that as like because that's a carrying idea, it's an overarching idea in how, we in the West are thinking now. And that means that the human have rights, right? And of course, that's a good idea, but...
Well, it's the American Constitution.
Yeah.
At its core, it's kind of saying
your rights
is
is my
not
obligation.
but they're not. Yeah, but I think the key point there is that your rights is not coming from the government.
No?
It's from God.
Yes.
So
But
they can't be violated
but
by
God
the government.
is,
That's the
but
point.
God is thrown out of the equation.
But still,
He's too noisy. We don't want him there.
you can still pretend the source of your rights is not the government, which is the point of this, right?
Yes.
So the government can't, because since they didn't give them to you, they can't take them away. That's
true.
the whole basis of
Yeah.
the American Constitution.
Yeah.
So, of course, and as you say, if you throw out God, you're going to have an issue, because then who is granting these rights to you, right?
Yeah, and then you have to make all this kind of arithmetics or this yoga stretching impossible positions to
justify.
Yeah, or to land this. But the important thing I would emphasize is that we can all love in a way whatever we want or whoever we want or something, but we can all try to be loving or produce that mindset or that sort of emotions. And if you do that, of course, you will very quickly understand that you have to sacrifice. That you have to go out of your comfort zone, and you have to do something for others. And that has been a challenge for me many times.
Yeah.
Because I'm being very screwed and fucked up in a way, and not willing to sacrifice, or not being able to jump out of my ego. And that's I think it's a hard thing.
That's hard to sacrifice.
Yeah. And then if you don't have children, and you don't have family, and you're spending your time on social media, or you maybe have a job and you have some colleagues, but that's all about transactions. Well, where how can you jump out, or where shall you do your sacrifices?
Yeah. No.
And I think that's also very hard for men, because men need to be, they have to be needed.
Of course, that's our role.
Yeah.
We need to sacrifice.
If you take away the sacrifice or the task or the challenge for a man, you just push him into misery.
Well, that's the word. When you say like men need to provide, provide just means sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Yes.
In a way. And if you don't do it properly,
sacrifice or give, because you have to collect more than you need, and the extra you give away, or maybe also your portion.
Of course, but the point is that if a man provide or sacrifice in the right way, that will lead to feelings of love, which means translates into commitment and loyalty.
Yeah.
But say you just have say you just won some easy money and you just spend them, they don't mean anything to you.
No.
That will not lead to you feeling love for someone, because it wasn't a real sacrifice.
No.
And I think that comes into the modern problem of relationships between man and woman, like in the romantic sense. And since we now have in Norway, we have more and more women working and making money. Many women making more money even than their partner. So say you have a relationship where, how is the man supposed to sacrifice and provide when he doesn't have any any money to sacrifice, for example, or is not allowed to sacrifice his time and money. And
Isn't the second?
no, it's called the third.
Is it called the third? Oh, okay. The first one was when the cell was
No,
instead of just
that's
sampling.
not the human sexual revolution. That's more
But that's
development of sex.
That's called the first sexual revolution
yeah, but I'm
because
not.
that was that's when sex came into the evolution. It's like
Yeah, but that's evolution, not revolution.
No, that's
So the
yeah. But,
evolution is.
but
not
it was a revolution that suddenly instead of the cells were
yeah, but that was evolution.
yeah okay.
Sexual evolution.
So
is
what
different
was yeah
than
I call that
revolution.
yeah.
It's not
Thank
the same.
you.
But
Yeah.
that's biological
Yes.
development of the sex. That's a story,
Yeah,
and it's an important one.
yeah. That's
But now we're talking about in humans.
yes.
How it developed in humans.
Okay, I gave it in.
And the first one was when we started to transition from like the chimpanzees have it or other monkeys.
Yes.
They do sex in the way that it's basically the strongest male sleeps with as many females as possible
Yes.
through coercion, violence,
Yeah.
and protection.
Yes.
And the weaker men are kept out by
Yeah.
the stronger man.
Yeah.
And that's mostly in nature. It's the common way.
Yeah, we're back
And
to that.
that's
now.
the old school way.
Yes.
The first one.
Yes.
So the transition there was
So
up
what?
till now is the third one.
But come on,
That's the first one. The second.
Try to teach me something.
Okay.
So the first
So
sexual revolution
when we
was
transitioned from you didn't have just the big guy raping everybody.
but the first sexual was in the ape community, or
Yeah, in humans. Some the apes don't. They're still there. They're still back at the first.
so the humans. The
transition.
first sexual revolution is the way the humans do it.
Well, I mean, it depends who you ask on this. But if you go, easy to go from now backwards is that the last revolution.
That was after the Second World War.
That's the 50s.
Yes, with
the pill prevention
and the birth control.
Yeah, and then you
And
started
free abortion.
free love, as they called it.
Yes.
And love yourself.
Yeah,
You were
I
there
was raised.
at the
I was
dawn.
on the scene.
Yeah, so that's the latest,
Yes.
which we grapple with today,
Yeah.
where you liberated sex from making family,
Yeah.
making children.
You liberated sex from its source, or
Yeah.
or is it's its main reason.
And that's
You made
so
it
the pill,
yes.
the prevention,
You made it diagnostic. Yes, it's like
which was
only for fun,
sold
for pleasure.
to everyone
Yes.
as a way to
Great
minimize abortion and unwanted pregnancies.
Yes.
And ironically, after it started to be used widely,
Okay, but
it went like skyrocket.
Go down that rabbit hole. Can we go? So that's the latest sexual revolution. So what was the revolution before that?
Okay, so then before that, then you had the female choice
Yes.
in the marriage.
Yes. And
Yes.
that came into play when?
1850s
Yes.
around.
So
when you started to introduce the romantic era,
romantic,
the
yeah.
night,
the night,
tale of the
yes.
night.
Yes.
He had to travel the that
Yes.
travel the world and fight the dragons to
Yes.
win the woman.
Yes.
And that's kind of the
But that's the end of the church had been pushing this.
yeah. But so the before that was that
The first.
the standard mode was that men gave other men women.
Yep. So it was
So
daughters,
be
and
accepted
it was
by a
this,
male.
yeah.
Another male had to
As they do it
accept
in
you.
the Muslim world still.
Still, for example, arranged marriage.
Yes.
And they still do this in Muslim countries. They have implemented the second revolution, which is that yes, you can be given away, but the woman can say no.
They can say no.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want that one.
Yes.
But you can say I like that one.
No.
You can just say no, thank you.
Yeah, you have a negative option.
Yeah, you have a veto.
Yeah.
So you get a veto option.
But that's something. You're on the way.
Well, that's a huge improvement from how it's back in the good old times where it was just I take you.
Yeah, but this
That's the primitive state of man. It's like warfare. Tribes came in, killed the guys, took the women and the land, the food, and went out. That's the primitive way, the first one.
so the most the kinship model or the arranged marriage or the marriage inside the family type of thing. The church has been dismantling this from the very start.
They've been the drivers of
They've been the drivers of not marrying,
Oh, you have
kinships. You
married-
cannot marry your cousins, and then you're not
Yeah,
your
some
second
rules.
cousins. And then they took away this. That
And
was
for
very
life.
usual. That if your brother dies, you marry the widow. So you kept everything inside
Yeah,
the family in balance.
that's like polygamy, right?
Yes.
Today,
Yes.
many religions.
So all this is taken away in the West, and it's been purifying, the family based on that you have to find a woman outside your tribe, or you have to go and searching for it, and that evolves into this romantic love.
Yeah. So romantic
concept.
love is new,
Very new.
and
And
it's-
the irony is that from the apes, where the winner took it all, the alpha were like taking all the women he were able to take,
yeah,
and
And
big percentage
you
of
don't
the
need-
men's they didn't get anything.
Yeah.
So they were just going there without getting laid at all. And then we had this church that were able to emphasize, and then in a lot
Well,
of kinship.
agriculture was like the big first change.
Yeah.
they
But
say.
listen me out.
Oh, sure.
Because you have this that in the tribe societies, when it was like everything was inside, then you had also this that a lot of guys didn't get women's at all,
Yeah, that's always been the case.
Yeah.
I think.
and the elite were like having polygamous, a lot of
Mhm.
wives.
Mhm.
The Muslims have limited to 4.
Yeah.
But then you had a big percentage that didn't get anything at all.
Yes.
And a lot of wives or a lot of women were accepting or wanting actually to be with the higher up guys. It was better to be the third, fourth, fifth
Yeah.
wife to him.
And it's not just what women want; it's how babies survive,
Yes.
which is the point.
Yeah.
Here, and that's of course why we have
And
this
now we're
parental investment.
Now, after the third
Just-
sexual revolution and this rapid explosion of changes that we are in the middle of, in a way we have the same situation, but even worse, because now a lot of guys never get laid
Yeah.
because most of the women are above their social status, and women don't want to, mate with
Yeah.
men. They feel they are under their social status.
It's a hypergamy.
The happy game. And then with all the dating apps and everything, they run for the high guys or the
Yeah,
the
because
top
you have
dogs.
the
and they
You
get
have access.
and they get all the women they want. But back in the days, they have to marry them and take care of them. And
Well, you could say that back in the days you can make a harem.
Yeah.
That existed.
yes,
But then you are you're limited to how many can you how many
you can support.
support.
Yeah, but now,
Because you have to support.
but what's happening now?
But
they-
now you
you don't
if you
need
support
that.
yourself,
You don't need that
No.
either.
and now takes care of the bills. You get
So you can just, do the sexual part.
it's very hedonistic. Then I think
Super hedonistic. It's
And-
like
and
emphasize on the pleasure side, and people get tired of it. And
But it's hard to sell, and I just think of myself that like, why don't I have children? Because I could have had children.
yeah, you had
Um,
many.
I had possible options to do
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but I didn't choose to do so. And
But
of
you were
course
not
it's-
in order yourself.
no, but still, you could have done it, and
Yeah, I'm happy
Order
you
would
didn't.
have
Yeah,
followed,
maybe that
right?
maybe that
Maybe that would be better.
Cleaned you up.
maybe that would have been better.
Yeah, yeah.
Like hindsight.
Yeah. You get some real responsibility.
There's many-
not only this theory
Many
responsibility.
people who argue that men need to do this early
Yes.
to get responsibility.
Yes.
To the, so,
But that's too late for you.
well, you can't go back in time.
No.
That's fine.
Sorry, I was interrupting you with my needs
With your
for
needs,
grandchildren.
need for no, that's a fair need. No, so we are in a very confused time, and it's confusing for me too. And it's and then you become like this. You have this issue that you could always do better, which is the core of all this people not settling down. Because why would you? You could get something better tomorrow.
Which is an illusion.
But it's an illusion with the core of truth, because
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's possible.
Yeah.
If you were in a village
It's same as it's possible to
200 years ago,
a lotto millionaire.
yeah, but
The odds is
if there is, but there's a big difference if there's no lottery
yes,
than when there is a lottery,
yes,
because there's a chance.
Yes.
It might be really small.
yes.
It might be
Yeah,
stupid odds.
Yeah, you're in the game.
But there is a chance.
yes,
And there is a chance thing is what keeps people going, because we are as nature, we meant to maximize.
yes.
So-
That's the interesting thing, because is it that it's so deep in you that if you get a child, you will love it? And yes and no, because you have a lot of single mothers where the guy just disappear.
Sure, that has gone up since the birth control
Yes,
started,
yeah, very much.
and welfare.
But the point is that this guy doesn't love his children then?
Well, that's a complex question.
Or
Because
is he just suffering because he's...
why, the question is why is he gone?
Yes,
That's the question.
yes. Why is he gone?
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it just like every time the guy just leaves because he wants to leave? Is that the answer? I think
but
it's
you have the
mixed.
promiscuous side of men that they want to fuck others.
Yeah, but sometimes they sure that's a part of it, but there's also an instinctively need to take care of your children.
Yeah. So I don't know how those
don't
guys
think-
feel.
I think that since we have welfare, and since we have the birth control, because the birth control leads to now it's the woman's responsibility.
Yes. So they end up
It's
with
not a shared responsibility.
No.
Now you can do the strange social experiment of having sex with someone you don't want as a father,
Yes.
which you never did before,
No.
because then that would be reckless.
Yes.
You would not. It's like there were strict conditions to get laid. You need to basically get married, right? But now you can just that's good for you. Good experience.
Yes.
Get laid, and I don't know. It doesn't seem to go well for many people. Just sleep around for fun, which is maybe men can do it a little more, but it's also we have the need. You could say men have the need to want to fuck around more, but they also have a need to bring up a family.
Yeah, and I think that real love comes from responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you're not taught that,
And if you're excused from
if you're
responsibility and say, "Hey, it's not my responsibility," and that's like
and then we have to nourish, and that's the problem with the culture. You subsidize real love,
and we
for some more shallow things that you
outsource responsibility to the state.
Yeah, that you're empathic, or you want everybody to have it good, or you
whatever
don't,
that means.
No children to die, and you're against war, and
like nobody
you want to save the planet, and you have all these areas where these unfulfilled feelings are,
of course,
exported
because we need to love.
Yes, and then you start love some ideas or some fiction.
Sure.
And that doesn't satisfy you, and
not at the core.
Yeah,
I don't think
and then you are in a negative, feedback loop. So you scream louder and louder, and you get less and less.
Yeah. So you could say it's hard to love these days, since it's so easy to not take the responsibility in many ways. Well, if there's so many single moms,
very much.
How is that possible? It's because the responsibility has been everybody pays.
Yes.
So we all share that much responsibility for all the single children.
Yeah.
But you don't really feel that love when you pay your tax.
No.
It's not, doesn't translate.
I only feel pain.
Yeah. So there we go. It's not like now you don't see the thousands of children you're now helping.
No,
in your inner mind.
Just see a bunch of idiots running around, screaming.
So it doesn't really translate.
No.
And this is at the core of this. You make this sacrifice to the state.
These topics is like, this is the end of the Western civilization. Or that's where it's pointing. If it's nothing, I don't know if you can look back or what you can save from history.
Transition point.
Yeah, it's a transition point. What really, if there is some core values that is like given, then you're back to God, and you have to bring Him back, and His.
I think you could say that, but I don't think societies go back. They evolve or they go under.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They don't go back.
No, that's not possible. But in a way, we are always, the end of a long chain.
Yeah.
And if you want to cut that completely, because you want some radical new, then something else are missing, right? And that's maybe a thing that we have to restore something to get this chain. So you can start evolving further, but not giving up, not this radical cut. And I don't know if that's not really going back. It's more like, trying to repair something. That's a classic conservative view.
Yeah. And then I think that's a good point. You have to have some gradual change. You can't just do it too quickly.
Look at the Jews, for instance. That's interesting.
We'll end there.
We always end there because they have been able to, stay together, and many people hate them and some admire them, and there's reason for both. And the admiring thing is that they've been extremely aware of their history.
Yes,
and they're reminded of that. Like they have their holidays. And all of them are history related.
And they're all histories of sacrifice.
They tell his stories. And that means that they have this strong identification with their own history, and it's not any broken elements in that chain. No. And that makes them strong.
And they have a strong culture.
Yes. Because they're in a way conservative. In the way they conserve their base, and they develop from that. And they also have this other beautiful thing that you can argue with your God.
Yeah.
you can say okay, and you can have this. So they have this dynamic. In a way, things are conservative. It's your tradition. You're aware of your history, but you can always argue and always try to find a new way out. And then they are been able to survive without the land in Diaspora, which is very rare.
Hmm.
But because usually when in a Diaspora, you are assimilated to where you're pushed out, and you get part of that society, and that's always been annoying because the Jews didn't want to assimilate it. They wanted to keep their identity, so they always been like standing out.
Sure. At
And
least
sometimes they've been in a misery and
there's a lot of people who have a similar.
yeah, poor and dirty, and that's the reason to hate them. But
No,
what
yeah, or
don't,
not
what we
only.
don't like, and what's the problem now, is if and it's always been this story also about the rich and greedy Jew. That's like this archetype.
Well, they were like
banker.
allowed to be money lenders from
Yeah.
many
But
places, right?
my main point is that these poor Jews, they're hated because they're poor and filthy and stick to a stupid religions, or they're hated because they're too rich and too powerful. So
They've been the boogeyman for the two other big religions that came after it.
yes,
Both Islam and Christianity has had a
but
hatred for Jews.
in my generation after the Second World War, it was like a long stretch where Jew hatred, anti-Semitism were like really taking off. That was like a no-go.
Yeah, people didn't speak of it in public.
No, it was the biggest shame you can do. But now it's sneaking back. And that's dangerous because it says something about the culture.
Yeah, and that's it's not the best development.
No,
At least if you care for minorities and everybody should love everybody. But not those people, right?
No.
Then you are on a slippery slope of your next.
The same that we can end there when it comes to love, but that's the same we have with drug addicts. I mean, every group that is weak gets special protection, or they're lifted up to something.
Oh yeah, because they are
we can with
pushed down.
Yeah,
in many ways.
It can go with race, it can go with sex, it can go with male, female. It's the oppressed, the whole, crazy song around that. But if you're a drug addict, that's because of yourself. We have no empathy for you.
But if you're an alcoholic, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, more.
In Norway.
Yeah.
Culturally,
Because
we'll excuse that.
Yeah.
Which has always been amazing.
Drug addicts, we can kick in the ass.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah, that's your fault.
So
Okay.
love.
So that's our mission, then, to love the drug addicts and
In yourself.
Yeah, in yourself.
There you go.
Yeah, I have
Because self-love is hard.
Yeah.
No, we should aspire.
Yes.
Take care of your loved ones,
Yes.
everybody.
Okay.
Next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.